All right, guys, I know I'm a broken record when I talk about this, but man, this American League in 1908 is very, very close. The Athletics on top, barely. They just lost. They're a half game ahead of the Red Sox. Today we got the Browns, who are now in fourth place, a game and a half out, at Chicago. Chicago's in third place, 3 games. I'm sorry, in sixth place, 3 games out. And so this is an interesting matchup to see who can maneuver into the right position. And of course, on the mound is Big Ed Walsh for the Chicago White Sox. He'll face Hope Ferris first. Ferris rolls a 45 for a 14. That'll be a walk, and that'll bring up Tom Jones. Walsh does have the Z, but a single Z is not enough to stop that. Ferris, though, as you may know, despite his good on-base percentage, is not very good at stealing bases. Jones here is up to bunt, and that's an odd thing to do with nobody out, but it's 1908. We can do it, and he rolls a 13 for a 14, and that ends up being a ball, so it's 1 ball on Jones. Next roll is a 44 for an 8, so it's a good bunt back to Walsh. Walsh throws over to the second baseman Davis covering first, and Ferris moves up to second. One away, here's Roy Hartzell hitting 244, 7 RBIs with his chance for St. Louis. He rolls a 55 for an 8. That'll be a ground ball over to the left side. Tannehill has it, throws to first, and Ferris moves up to third right behind him. 2 away, George Stone. Stone rolls a 66 for a 0. And Stone's next roll is a 34 for a 6, and that'll be a double to right field. That'll score the runner. It's 1-0 St. Louis, just like that. There's Jimmy Williams. So Walsh has given up the walk, bunt, ground ball, and then the first hit, and it's 1-0. Here's Jimmy Williams, who rolls a 25 for an 8. That's a ground ball to the left side, and it will be Tannehill who has that, throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Patsy Doherty comes up. Patsy Doherty hitting 325, rolls a 22 for an 8. There'll be a ground ball over to the left side. Wallace has it. The shortstop throws to first. 1 gone. George Davis now. He rolls a 64 for a 13 and strikes out. 2 gone, and here is fielder Jones. Jones up there rolls a 15 for an 11. That'll be a single to left field, and then he will steal second with Donahue coming up. And so the White Sox, trying to fight back already, have a base hit. Here's Jiggs Donahue. Rolls an 11 with a 0, and then a 55 for a 6. That'll be a double to left center field. That'll score the runner. We have a tie ball game just like that. It's 1-1. Here comes Jake Atz. Atz hitting 176, 2 RBIs, but the 310 on-base percentage is not bad. He rolls a 21 for a 30. Be a fly ball to left field. Stone has that for the out. We go to the top of the second. Here again comes Ed Walsh. Walsh, so far this season, 4-3, 2.44 ERA, 2.49 batted against average. This was the year he won 40, as you recall. Stevens rolls a 54 for a 45, fly ball to right field, and Hahn has that for the out. 1 away. Danny Hoffman rolls a 45 for a 14, and he'll walk, and that'll bring up Bobby Wallace. So runner on at first base, 1 out, top of the second. Wallace rolls a 33 for a 7, and that's going to be a ground ball over to the left side. The third baseman Tannehill has that, throws to first for the out. That moves Hoffman up, and here comes Dineen. So a 7 can be prevented by the A. Dineen up there rolls a 14 for a 43. Fly ball over to center field. It's going to be Jones who has that for the out. We go to the bottom of the second, still 1-1. Ed Hahn, the first hitter, hitting 208, 240 on base percentage, which is more normal for 1908. Rolls a 14 for a 43. Little League rolls the 61 out of the range. That'll be a fly ball over to Stone and left, 1 gone. Billy Sullivan now rolls a 12 for a 25. Ground ball to second base. It's Williams who has that, throws to first, 2 gone. Here's Lee Tannehill, who rolls a 43 for a 29. This time come back over to Dineen, who throws to first, and we go to the top of the third. It will be Hope Ferris now taking his cuts against Ed Walsh. Ferris rolls a 33 for a 0. Second roll is a 35 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field, and that brings up Tom Jones. Jones last time bunted. This time is going to swing away with a runner on at second. He rolls a 35 for a 37, changed to 23. That's going to mean that the runner is out stealing. Throw will go Sullivan to the third baseman Tannehill, and Tannehill has been injured. So he makes a good play on Ferris coming down, trying to steal, but he has to come out of this ball game. It'll be Billy Purtell who comes in to play third base. So there's Purtell going over to the left side. Nobody on base. Here's Tom Jones still. Rolls a 53 for a 19, changed to 22. It's going to be a ground ball over to Donahue, the first baseman. Flips over to Walsh, the pitcher covering at the bag for the second out. 2 gone. Here's Roy Hartzell. He rolls a 36 for a 32, fly ball to right field. It will be Hahn, the right fielder, who has it for the out, and we go to the bottom of the third. Ed Walsh comes back up there. Walsh rolls a 13 for a 13, strikes out. Pretty easy. 1 away. Here's Patsy Doherty. rolls a 64 for a 40, changed to 36. It's a ball. His next roll is a 45 for a 14. That's going to be a walk, and that means Davis comes up with Doherty on at first. Doherty is fast. We know that. Hit and run is in order, and here comes Davis, who rolls a 52 for a 27, so they stay out of the double play. Ground ball to the left side. Ferris has to go to first. Doherty goes over to second. 2 gone, and here's fielder Jones. Jones rolls a 44 for an 8. That's going to be a comeback over to Deneen, who throws to first for the out, and we go to the top of the 4th inning. It will be George Stone up there. Stone rolls a 55 for an 8, ground ball to short. Wallace, he goes to first, 1 away. Jimmy Williams now rolls a 14 for a 43. Fly ball left field. Doherty has it, 2 gone. Here's Jim Stevens. 53 is the roll for an 18, changed to 16. That'll be a fly ball to center. Jones has it for the out. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still tied at 1, only 4 hits between the two teams. 4 men overall left on base. Here's Jiggs Donahue. Rolls a 61 for a 13. There's a strikeout, 1 gone. Now it's Jake Atz. Let's see if I can pick up both dies. Atz rolls a 22 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to the shortstop Wallace. Throws to first, 2 away. Ed Hahn rolls a 45 for a 14. That'll be a walk, and that'll bring up Billy Sullivan. So Sullivan comes up with Hahn on at first, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Roll for Sullivan's a 36 for a 33. That'll be a pop-up over to the third baseman Ferris, and we go to the top of the 5th as he makes the catch. Here is Danny Hoffman for the Browns. Rolls a 63 for a 31. Fly ball to center field. Jones has that, 1 away. Bobby Wallace, now the hitter, rolls a 52 for a 27. That'll be a ground ball over to the left side. Pertel has it. Throws to first, 2 gone. Pertel doing pretty well with the limited chances he's had. 2 away. Here's Bill Deneen. He rolls a 31 for a 23, changed to 39. That'll be a strike. Deneen's next roll is a 51 for a 9. That's a single over short. So finally they solve the mystery of Walsh, get the third base hit of the day for the Browns. And here's Hope Ferris. Ferris rolls a 33 for a 0. And his next roll is a 43 for a 7. That'll be a single to right center. And then Deneen goes all the way over to third on that long hit. Here comes Tom Jones now, and Jones is wondering maybe there is a way to hit against Ed Walsh. Runners on at first and third, 2 outs, and the roll's a 15 for an 11. That'll be a single to left. We'll score 1, and Ferris goes up to second. So it's a 2-1 ball game. And up now is Roy Hartzell, 2 outs still, top of the 5th. 2-1 Browns with the lead. Hartzell rolls a 54 for a 45. There's a little E roll. Little E roll is a 26 just out of the range, so it's a fly ball over to right field, and Hahn has that for the out. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Billy Pertel. Pertel will come up here. 1 plate appearance, and that was earlier in this game. He rolls a 44 for a 9. That's a single over to, not sure where that was hit to, but over short, and then he is caught trying to steal right afterwards, so there's 1 out. Little C gets you every time. 1 away. Here's Ed Walsh. Walsh rolls a 21 for a 13 and strikes out. 2 away. Patsy Doherty rolls a 31 for a 9. That's going to be another single and another caught stealing. We go to the top of the 6th. That little C always gets you. It's George Stone here for the Browns. Top of the 6th inning. 2-1 Browns with the lead. Stone rolls a 16 for a 28. Ground ball to short. Atz has it on to first. 1 away. Jimmy Williams now rolls an 11 for a 0, and his second roll is a 54 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field. 6th hit of the game for the Browns, and that brings up Jim Stevens. Stevens, 262 average, 2 runs driven in. Not much by an on-base percentage, but he rolls a 45 for a 14. He'll take that walk against Walsh. Walsh hasn't struck anybody out in his walk 3. Danny Hoffman now. And he rolls a 26 for a 27. That's going to be a ground ball over to the left side. Pertel has it, throws to first for the out. And the runners move up, so there's 2 away. And that's where the better third baseman would have helped you. If it's Tannehill, that's probably a double play. 2 outs, and here's Bobby Wallace. And Wallace, rolls an 11 for a 0. And his next roll is a 22 for a 2. That's a triple to deep left. And that makes this a 4-1 ball game. And here comes Deneen. 4-1 the score. And Ed Walsh is watching as the Browns are teeing off on him. Deneen rolls a 36 for a 33, and that's a strikeout. Finally, Walsh gets his first strikeout, but it's too little too late. 4-1 the score. 4-1 is not necessarily the sort of margin that cannot be overcome. But when you're in 1908, you really have to wonder sometimes because it's not like there's a whole ton of runs being scored. This isn't like it's 1994 or something. George Davis, bottom of the 6th, rolls a 62 for a 12. A little E roll upcoming. I'll try that one again as that fell off the side. It's a 66, so we wasted 1. Ends up being a ground ball over to Jones. First baseman does it himself. 1 away. Fielder Jones up now. One out, rolls a 44 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to the shortstop, Wallace, who goes to first. 2 gone. Jigs Donahue rolls a 66 for a 0, and here is his second roll. It's a 61 for a 6, so it's a double for Donahue. He winds up on second base, only hit number 5 for the White Sox, and here now is Jake Atz. Atz rolls a 54 for a 45. There is a little E roll, and it's a 14 within the range. That means it's changed to a 17, and that's going to be an error on the right fielder Hartzell, and that will allow the runner to score. Makes this a 4-2 ball game with Atz on at first, and here's Ed Hahn. We're going to do some hit and run. Let me try that again. Try to aim my throw better, and it's a 43 for a 29. A little ground ball back to Dineen. Throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the 7th. Ed Walsh staying in there, hanging in there. He's a fighter. Up against Hope Ferris. First roll is a 35 for a 9, so Ferris greets him with a base hit. That'll bring up Tom Jones. Jones rolls a 12 for a 24. Here's a little E roll. It's a 16, and so instead of a double play, what they do is they end up with a ground ball over to the shortstop, Atz, who throws wildly to first. That allows Jones to reach second. Hope Ferris goes to third. Here comes Roy Hartzell. So the first error by the White Sox could prove to be a costly one because that would have hurt the rally. And instead, there's nobody out, top of the 7th, and runners on a second and third, and here's the middle of the order. Hartzell rolls a 22 for a 7. That's a base hit to left center field, and will score 2, and it's a 6-2 ball game. Walsh's spot is coming up. I have an eye on that, and we'll probably take him out if he can get through this inning. George Stone up next, and he rolls a 44 for a 7, and that's a single to right, which will score the runner. And we have Jimmy Williams coming up next, and it is time to take out Walsh. Altrock pitched last time these teams played. Manuel is the one I'm thinking about, and we'll go with Manuel. So runner on at first base, nobody out, top of the 7th, 7-2 Browns, and here comes Jimmy Williams. Williams rolls a 35 for a 14, and that's a walk. So Manuel Moxie just adds to his own problems here right from the start. Jim Stevens is up now. First and second are the runners. Stevens rolls a 44 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to the left side. Pertel has it, has to go to first. The runners move up, 1 away, and here's Danny Hoffman. Danny rolls a 24 for his 13. That's a big strikeout for Moxie, 2 away. Here comes Bobby Wallace. Wallace rolls a 43 for a 29. That's going to be a comebacker over to Manuel. Throws over to first. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and so I'm not going to take Moxie out of this one because there's no point. Billy Sullivan rolls a 42 for a 13 and strikes out, 1 away. Pertel rolls a 31 for a 13, 2 gone, and Dineen has struck out 6. Manuel is going to hit for himself, and he rolls a 63 for a 29. It's a comeback over to Dineen, throws to first, and we go to the top of the 8th. Bill Dineen up there now. Rolls a 31 for a 23, changed to 36. That'll be a ball. Next rolls a 63 for a 27. Ground ball left side. It's Ferris who, I'm sorry, it's the Pertel who has it. Throws to first, 1 away. Here is Hope Ferris. Rolls a 65 for a 35, and the little E roll ends up being a 33 out of the range. It's a foul out left side, and it'll be Pertel making that catch for the second out. Here's Tom Jones. Jones rolls a 53 for a 19, changed to 22. That's going to be an error on Manuel. Jones makes it a first, and that'll bring up Roy Hartzell. Roy rolls a 25 for an 11. There's a single. Jones goes to third, and then Hartzell able to steal second. And Manuel is losing his effectiveness, as you can see there. Stone now. He rolls a 15 for an 11, and that'll be a single, which will score 2, and Stone then steals second afterwards. It's 9-2. And here comes Jimmy Williams. So, White Sox starting to really struggle now. Williams rolls a 31 for a 9, and that's another single that will score the runner, and then Williams is caught stealing afterwards. 10-2 now the score. Maybe we should have taken Moxie out after all. Here's Patsy Doherty, bottom of the 8th inning. Patsy rolls a 42 for a 14. He'll take his base on the walk, and that'll bring up Davis. Normally I'd be hitting and running, but you're down by 8. Davis rolls a 46 for a 29. Ground ball back to Dean. Turns around, throws that one to second base to Wallace, and they don't have a play at first. 1 away, here's Fielder Jones. Jones rolls a 33 for a 7. That's a base hit to right center field, and Davis will hold at second. The runner's on at first and second. The White Sox trying to come back. Can they do 8? I don't know. Jigs Donahue rolls a 52 for a 27. There's your rally killer. Ground ball over to Ferris, and he throws over to Williams at second for 1, and on to Jones at first for the double play. We go to the top of the 9th inning. It is Jim Stevens up there now for the Browns, and the Browns are in control of this one. Stevens rolls a 55 for an 8. That's a single. Moxie might not last so long. Danny Hoffman now rolls a 45 for a 14. He'll take his base. That's it for Moxie. So Moxie does his best, and it's not quite good enough. We're going to take a look, and it's going to be Frank Owen who will come in now Frank Owen comes into this ball game, 34 innings pitched, 1-3 record, 2.12 ERA. Runners on a first and second, nobody out, top of the ninth, 10-2 Browns. Bobby Wallace rolls a 52 for a 27, and it's a ground ball over to Purtell, but he's not good enough, can only go to first with that. That was that double play ground ball that the doctor ordered, but when your third baseman is injured in the first inning, it's kind of hard to do much about it. First or second, can't remember. One awayer is Bill Dineen, runners on a second and third, and he rolls a 15 for an 8, and that's just rubbing salt in the wound. Dineen gets the base hit that drives in 2. Dineen now today is 2 for 5 with a run scored, 2 RBIs, and that'll bring up Hobe Ferris. 12-2 now the score, and you can forget about this one. Here is Hobe. He rolls a 33 for a 0, and his next rolls a 31 for a 6, and that's a double over first. Dineen goes over to third, and with one out, here is Tom Jones, runners on a second and third. And this is garbage time, folks. He rolls a 55 for an 8. That'll be a single, which will score 2. There's a little C next to it, so Jones is thrown out trying to steal. 14-2, though, is the lead. Here's Roy Hartzell with 2 outs now, top of the ninth, and he rolls an 11 for a 7. So they keep piling it on. Hit number 18 for the Browns, and it's George Stone. Stone rolls a 62 for a 12. It's a ground ball to short. Atz has it, flips over to Davis, and they get the force, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. And here is Jake Atz. Bottom of the ninth inning, 14-2 the score. Atz's rolls a 33 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to Wallace. The shortstop throws to first, 1 away. Now Ed Hahn. Hahn rolls a 24 for a 13. That's a strikeout, 2 away. Here's Billy Sullivan. And Sullivan rolls a 33 for an 8, and that's another ground ball. This time, it's a fly ball over to Hoffman, the center fielder, for the out. And that does it, 14-2. The Browns with the victory here. This one wasn't close at all. Ed Walsh now goes to 4-4. You got to wonder if he shouldn't have some more rest between starts. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.